So today on Breaching 101, we're going to go on an adventure. Now, like I have with a few other videos recently in this series, I'm veering off lockpicking for a second, but we'll come back on it. But it all coalesces and makes sense. You'll understand. So in this instance, I had a very stubborn window. I should mention I've already breached it and gone in. I tend to have a 95% to 99% hit rate. Let's also note that I don't know this premises, the patterns to it that well yet. Someone could pop up, but I doubt it. So I've scouted this place from the outside. I've looked there. Beautiful. No one's looking as far as I'm concerned. Nothing can be seen from there. All the windows are closed. As you hear in the background, there's construction equipment, so a lot of my noise is masked. This happens to be a vacant property because I've sussed it out. All the tell signs were there. Long grass, mail, the works. That's when I decided to take it a little bit further and confirm that it is vacant and there's no one here, and I confirmed that. So let's look at this a bit more. Fuck, there's even a greenhouse here. And there's a bit of grass, there's a bit of everything. Okay, now have I gone here today? Because although I technically have several hundred places that I've scouted, it's always good to keep scouting because a lot of the places I have, they just keep on going after 2 or 3 months. They get knocked down, built upon, electricity gets cut, for instance. And I want to live in a habitable abode. I don't want to stay in a place that has no electricity. And I also don't really fancy staying in front of a bus stop where there's kids around. I mean, I trust myself with kids more than anybody, but it's not a nice look, and it's not nice. It's not a good model to advocate. You know, I'm staying right outside a bus stop where there's kids and all sorts of stuff. I'll be going in and out, sussing it out in a weird way. It just makes people look it makes people feel uncomfortable, and it can start to cascade into some bad habits where the actual dangerous people start doing that. So a note to people, even if you are a good citizen, even if you are a safe person around females, children and all that, you shouldn't set that standard because there are people out there who are unsafe. So this is right outside a bus stop, and one where it appears to peak after school. What is it now? It's fucking watch. 1 second. It's 16:04, so I'm going to take it that it is 4:04 p.m. So finally, after all these hours of looking, I've come across this now, and it appears that it's right outside a busy bus stop. Not on. So will I use it? It'll be on my least preferable, unless it's absolutely necessary and I have no other place to go to. Not using it. But I'm still going to use this video as an example of how to breach, because it's a perfect example. Okay, so that's why I'm here today, because the mansions are technically gone, although I can use one of them for now. A place 20 k's from here is gone. A whole bunch of places are gone that I had, and that's natural. I mean, these aren't my possessions. I'm homeless. These are just places that aren't yet being built upon or moved into, or whatever the case, and I'm using vacant abodes. So everything's tick on this except that bus factor, and it doesn't have running electricity. It doesn't have electricity or hot water. It has running water. But why would I stay here when it has no hot water and no electricity when I've got a place that has that? So it's a big no. But I'm going to show you everything anyway, so you can still take all the notes I've conveyed thus far from the start of this video onward. Okay, now this is where I've breached. Okay. Easy peasy. Here, in front of this glass, was this. Seemingly protective to the unaccustomed or unbaptized. I'm not going to take out my pry bar. I'm sure you can Google what a pry bar is. I've jammed a pry bar here, and all on the edges, pried outwards, these just pop out. I ripped it out, and once I had a good grip, the whole thing collapsed. The whole thing actually came out. If the frame was sturdy enough, just this would have come out. But because the frame was weak and I was able to get a good grip once that came out, the whole frame came with it. So either way, it was coming out. Again, I put my pry bar, I jammed my pry bar here, popped them all out. Then, with some stubborn ones, I got my Leatherman, the pliers, pulled it out, and then the whole fucking thing out. And there it is there, just in front of the greenhouse. So I've taken that out. And, like I said in my other video, most windows are open. Well, not most, but plenty. And this was open. So I didn't have to break any glass, I didn't have to do anything crazy. Now, all we've got to do is slip in. Let's hope I can do this. Fuck. With one hand. Please don't injure myself. Oh. Oh, this is a fucking midget room. My head's nearly hitting the ceiling. I don't know why it's like this. Full tiled. And I'm in like Flynn. And if I was gonna stay here, this would be my entry. It's the least conspicuous. Completely vacant. What I want. I don't want to look into a house that has possessions because that's just wrong. You don't go into a place where people live. And this just happens to be, fucking funnily enough, it seems to have been some childcare place, which is fucking hilarious. I only realised that when I got in here, before I made the assessment on the bus stop and the electricity and all that. But yeah. I'd take video of people at the bus stop, but I'm not going to do that. Again, they're probably minors. It's the last thing I'm going to do. But that just shows you how close the bus stop is from this place. So, had this place have had electricity and everything I needed, it would still be the last resort because of that factor. But we'll go for a tour, just so you know the ins and outs of breaching and what it can bring about. So, it starts to get a bit more modern up here, as if somebody lived upstairs. It's certainly dressed as a house. Nice camera. If it was operating, I wouldn't give a fuck, because I'm fucking homeless and I'm just here to sleep. Nice fucking modern bedrooms. Aircon. More aircon, more bedrooms. Nice modern toilet. Running water, but not hot. No hot water. So all the electricity's turned off. And there's the main road right there. It's bus stop's right there behind that wall. Main kitchen, it seems. Big ass fucking lounge room. Again, no electricity, so it's, even if it wasn't in front of a bus stop, it's just undesirable. Now, there are a few places next door. Well, sorry, there's one place next door, and there are a few places up the road I might have a look at, and we'll see how I go from there. Somewhat worthy of habitation for my purposes, so we'll see how they go. How exciting.